Welcome back to Retro Rewire. My name is JJ. We're back for another In the Hunt at Trader. We're going to wrap things up here again on the second floor. This is part 4. I'll put a link to all the previous videos down below, so if you're interested in checking those out, feel free to do so. And once again, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Hit the bell, all that good stuff. And we're going to start with the Nintendo Gamecube here. And they don't have too much GameCube titles here, but some of the stuff that they do have is pretty quality. And the cool thing about, where they're at, as I mentioned in previous videos, is that they're constantly getting new stock. I think the last time I went, they had the Twin Snakes, which features full English. And then they have here Skies of Arcadia coming in at $36.80. Now I have the North American version for the Sega Dreamcast, and I have not played this one, but I do believe it includes some additional side quests or content. So that would be pretty cool, but that one is definitely going to have a language barrier. And we have Wave Race there for $4.80, and then we have this for $32.80, Dr. Mario and Cookie. And then of course Capcom versus SNK 2 EO for $29.80. Now this one is also released on the Xbox, and there is a demo that includes the full game. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way to the Game Boy Advance, and we're just gonna brush over this section here because there's so much. But I will show off here this F-Zero coming in at $22.80. I'm kind of interested in playing this one, as the one on the GameCube is actually really freaking awesome. But all sorts of titles here, a lot of the mother titles there. I wonder if those are pretty good ports or if they're entirely original. I'm not too sure. And I remember buying one of these Game Boy Advances early on. But Game Boy Color and the Game Boy here, quite a bit of titles here for both of those platforms. And the cool thing is that they're cross-compatible. Well, the Game Boy Color is backwards compatible, but the Game Boy is not. But we have Rockman World 5 for $19.80. I recently picked that one up in the Hard Off Junk Bins. And then we have Turtles here for $61.80. And this one, as well as part 2 and 3, are a part of the Cowabunga collection, as I understand it. Which, that's a collection that I will buy eventually, but I think I will wait during the holiday season, hoping that it will get discounted. Actually, in Japan, it didn't get a release, at least not yet. I don't know if they're planning to release one, but that Turtles 3 is coming in at $16,300. That's kind of pricey. But we'll see if they release it. Not really a priority for me at the moment, that Turtles Cowabunga collection. But the Super Famicom area is actually one of the larger areas of the store. And they have quite a bit of titles, like the Slam Dunk. I never watched that anime. I wonder if it's any good. And then we have Batman Returns with its freaking awesome cover. I do like this game, but my favorite one is The Adventures of Batman and Robin on the Genesis. And then we have Bugs Bunny here for $13,800. Those Sunsoft Looney Tune games were a bit frustrating. And then we have $88.80 for Super Metroid, which that one actually includes full English, as the North American version also includes full Japanese if you fancy that. But look at all these great titles. But honestly, I think for Super Famicom, there's not really much that I really want to add to my collection, which is fairly small. I actually grew up playing the Super Nintendo, and I think I played everything that I really wanted to play back then. But I have not played this Dragon Ball Z. And then we have Choma Kaimura for $57.80, but we're going to take a closer look at Dark Kingdom here. Haven't heard of this one before, but it's coming in at 12,500 yen, and that cover is freaking amazing. Love it. I definitely love high fantasy gaming, movies, all that stuff. And then we have Final Fight Guy. A bit pricey, but I think it's definitely cheaper than its North American counterpart. And then we have the loose carts. This is kind of giving me hard off vibes here. Which I actually recently picked up Fatal Fury Garo on the Super Famicom. Then we have Super Mario Kart for 280, and then Super Mario World for 100 yen. But I think Hard Off still has them beat. Sometimes those come in at 50 yen. Crazy, huh? And then here we have another fairly large section, the Famicom section. And then this one, this system always gets the top prize for most colorful cards. I mean, look at this. Amazing. And then we have Tiny Toon Adventures for 980 next to Adventure Island for 580. I hear that Tiny Toons is actually pretty good. Tiny Toons, they usually do have some pretty cool games. And then we have some disc system games. Castlevania there for 2280. And then I forget the name of this one, Doki Doki Toki Toki. But eventually this one was released in America as Super Mario Bros. 2. Although I would like to play this original version just to see how it originally was. And then we have Turtles there for 16,800. And then Rockman 2 for 12,800. And this is actually pretty clean, almost. But as we look on the back side, if you look on the lower left, there is like a watermark or water stain or coffee. I'm not really sure what it is. But apart from that, it's actually pretty clean, especially considering it's vintage. This game is freaking awesome music in this one. But there are a number of ways to play this, as well as this Super Punch Out featuring Mike Tyson. Pretty cool cover there. And then here are some classic RPGs. Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, I believe there. And then Ninja Gaiden 2. Now this one, man, it's been a few years since I've played this one, but look at that cover. Freaking awesome. And then this one, Part 3, 11,400. I believe when this one was released, there was an anime that released alongside it. And that anime of Ninja Gaiden is actually pretty good. But let's go ahead and take a look at some Xbox titles. There's not many, but they do have Panzer Dragoon Orta. And the Japanese release actually includes the soundtrack, which is pretty cool, a pretty cool bonus. Then we have Gun Valkyrie and then Otogi. I used to have part 1 and 2 from Software. By From Software, I sold those. Now I think they're worth, at least the North American versions are worth a bit more, but we have a few AES games, 3980 there for special. And then Neo Geo CD games. We have Magician Lord here for 14,700 yen. And I actually beat this game, but I beat it on the PSP because it did get official release way back in the day, like 2008 or something. They had like this little arcade archive thing going on at the time. And you know, a lot of these titles for the Neo Geo and the Neo Geo CD are available on other platforms like the Switch, the PS4, Steam, Xbox, as a part of the arcade archives by Hamster. Now here's one that I freaking love, is this Art of Fighting 3. I just love how the story unfolds. And yeah, it's just a great game, and it kind of reminds me of like Virtua Fighter if it was on a 2D plane. I haven't played the Genesis Virtua Fighter 2, but I imagine maybe they play the same. Then we have Ghost Pilots. I do like that cover for 89.80. Last I was there, they still had that too. And then just a whole bunch of King of Fighters and a few other fighting games. That's what the Neo Geo was known for. A lot of good stuff here. And then we have KOF 98 for 2580. Although I believe this version suffers from some heavy loading, but I think a lot of it can be cut down or skipped by enabling like a skip option in the menu. And then we have King of Fighters 99 for 6880. This is probably one of my favorite King of Fighters 99. Freaking awesome music, especially on the Neo Geo CD version. And then here we have a few other titles, but the one I want to focus on is Double Dragon coming in at 4680. Now, I ended up picking up a copy of this. I returned to this store like about a week and a half later, and I picked up a copy, and yeah, this game is pretty interesting, pretty unique. I remember watching the movie that it was based on, the movie and the game, but this one was based more off of the movie, and the movie was a bit trash, but I do like that game. And then we have the Neo Geo Pocket and the Pocket Color. Now there is a collection of these games that features probably like the most recognized games on this platform for the Nintendo Switch, and that's probably a collection that I'll be picking up. And we have Dive Alert there, and just all sorts of stuff. And I remember actually picking one of these up in Idaho. I think I got it on clearance. I can't remember if it was like $20 or if it was 40, but it was really reasonable, and it was bundled with Sonic Pocket Adventure or something like that. But yeah, a lot of interesting titles here for the Neo Geo Pocket. I probably won't pick one up at all anymore. I recently sold mine, but anyhow, we have Vertical Force there for the Virtua Boy. And then we're gonna make our way into the 3DO section. Now this section is fairly small as well, and then we have Police Knots there. That's the original release. And then we have Sailor Moon. This was my weekday, my mornings right before school. I wonder if this is any good. This looks like it might be like a fighting game, but that is a pretty cool cover. Good old Sailor Moon. I haven't seen that in years. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make our way into the PC Engine games. We'll start with some of the CD-ROM based ones. But just right there in the middle, they have a small section of PCFX games. And then here are the games that require the arcade card, which is actually here. And as you can see, it's coming in at 11,600 yen, and the other card is coming in at 49.80. And then we have Monster Maker here for 1080. I do like that cover, but this is probably going to be like a lot of heavy Japanese, obviously, so we'll put that one right back. And then we have Valis here. Now there's also a collection on the Nintendo Switch. There's 2 volumes now actually released, and if that's kind of like your thing, you know, that's definitely something that you should consider getting. But quite a bit of titles for the Super CD-ROM, and that's actually an attach. I have a core graphics, and I think sometime in the future I would like to get the attachment. There are a few games that I would like to add to the collection, like that Dai Makaimura, although that's a super graphics game, but that's just more for my my little shrine of ghouls and ghosts. And then here we have Tiger Heli. Now this particular port is a part of the collection that was released on the Nintendo Switch. I did an unboxing of this, so that's included, this particular version, as well as the arcade, the Famicom, the Genesis. All those ports are included. And then we have Lady Sword coming in at 10,600 yen. Now this one appears to be an adult themed game, an RPG, and I wonder if it's any good. Could be, I'm not really sure. And next to that we have something that looks like it could be a little bit of fun. Now this has I don't want to say Studio Ghibli, but when I look at it, I kind of get those vibes from it. And then we have Kiki Kai Kai. Now this is an awesome game. Now this one is also, the arcade release is also available on the PS2 as well as on the Switch, and I wish that had a poster. I would love to hang that up in the game room. And then we have The Legend of Valkyrie. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this series of Trader. It was a 4-part series, and that's going to wrap things up here. We'll definitely continue in the hunt, probably back at Hard Off. But anyhow, my name is JJ. Thank you for watching Retro Rewire, and I hope to see you soon. Ciao.